And we're back, Celebrity U Radio TV, bringing you the green section. We have a few green people in here today. Very, very happy to see that. Before we get started, Green Scene Home Inspections, the cold weather is starting to hit. It's coming that time. We've got Halloween right around the corner, and the temperatures in the DFW are starting to drop. So we want to remind you to clean your chimneys out before you light that fire. Have that done. You probably haven't had it done in 3 to 5 years when you should be doing it every year. So just wanted to remind you to do that. Also, clean out your gutters before you get into fall where all the leaves start to fall in your gutters. It's very easy to do yourself, or you can hire somebody out to do it. And make sure you have gutter screens on if you don't already have them. And as well, the last tip that I'm going to give you for fall is run all of the gas out of your lawnmower for the last time you do it, so that when you put it away, you go to crank it up next year and you don't wear your arm out trying to start that thing up with bad gas. It's horrible. So all of those fun fall tips brought to you by Green Scene Home Inspections. You can reach me at www.greenscenehomeinspections.com. And with that, I want to invite my awesome green home builder guest, Marc Kleinmann, to the show. And I want to give him we'll give him a little bit to say where we can reach him and find him. And he pretty much runs the web anyway when it comes to Dallas green home building. But Marc, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Like Clayton said, Marc Kleinmann with EGC Custom Homes. I'm a home builder here in Dallas, and we focused for several years now on building and designing, building and remodeling energy efficient so-called green homes. And
where can we find you at? I just want to get that out there before we get
find
before
us
we get going.
on the web, of course, at dallasgreenbuilding.com or egcdallas.com.
Do you have a Twitter and a Facebook?
Twitter, actually I have 2 Twitters. You can find me at Twitter.
You're tweeting.
At Dallas Builder and at Marc Kleinmann. That's MarcKleinmann. And, of course, on Facebook and LinkedIn and all the other good sites.
And this guy is really into the green building scene in Dallas. I mean, he's tied in with a lot of different communities, a lot of different organizations. So if you ever need to know anything or wanted to know anything, this is probably going to be the guy that has the answers for you. So wanted to get talking about green building and some of the kind of stats that are out there on building green and what's going on.
Sure. I think one of the most important things to bring up first is why green building is important, and I kind of wanted to preface that a little bit first with what green building is.
Okay.
Green building right now is sort of it's a big marketing hype. As you probably know, a lot of people already get what I would call a green fatigue, because everybody these days sells some sort of green product. Everybody has some sort of green service.
Yep.
And green building is really nothing more than using sound building science. Every builder, every remodeler should know about building science. That means knowing how buildings are designed correctly, knowing how mechanical systems like your HVAC system, like your plumbing system, is designed and sized correctly, which materials to use. Builders need to know about weatherproofing. They should know about things like water permeability and air infiltration. And as a broad term, building green homes is really going back to the basics and building structures right, not just homes, but also office buildings, schools, medical buildings, and so forth. And why is it important? I just want to read you some stats that I just grabbed off the U.S. Green Building Council's website. It's important because 72% of the U.S. electricity consumption is used by buildings.
By buildings,
overall.
Yeah.
So if you think about that,
huge
3/4 of all electricity consumed in the U.S.
Yep.
is used up by buildings.
Yep.
And why? It's because a lot of these buildings are just built inefficiently. They waste a lot of energy, and it's not necessary. The same thing goes with water usage. 13.6% of all potable water is used by buildings in the U.S. And I think one of the most important factors when we think about our planet overall, and the way we use resources and harvest them is our industry, the building industry. It's no secret that the building industry is one of the most wasteful industries of all, and the EPA actually estimates that 170 million tons of building-related. Yes, I'm going to try to stay in front of it. 170 million tons of building-related construction and demolition debris was generated in the U.S. in 2003, with 61% of that coming from non-residential and 39% of that coming from residential sources.
And I can totally believe that, because I look at the M streets, for example, where you have really, really awesome 30s, 40s style Tudor homes that people go in there and they see it and they think about rehabbing that, and they go in and they knock it down and they build the new home to take its place because it's worth more. And, you know, all of that construction debris, you know, just goes straight to the landfill. And I think there's other parts of the country and then other parts of the world that really deal with that construction debris in a completely different way than we do. We just send it off to the landfill and want to forget about it. So.
Yeah, and you know, again, not all builders do. There's a lot of builders that practice, you know, good building or green building. And, you know, part of that is resource management, not wasting materials and trying to recycle as much as you can. For example, all our construction sites, we recycle all the wood that comes out of the building. We recycle all the drywall, and we also recycle all the metal that comes out of a building. So right there, if
this guy's setting the standard for residential building construction, just right there alone for green building.
Well,
there's not a lot of people out there
we
that
try
do
to do our best. There can always be more done, but we try to do our best.
So, and also I wanted to kind of not really embarrass you, but say, you know, you've been in the United States since '96. You're originally from Germany, right?
Deutschland, yes.
Yes, and so they build things pretty engineered. They're engineered very well over there in Germany. And so when you came over here and you're trying to kind of slay the dragon, so to speak, in a different realm. And so I think I just want to mention that to our viewers, because I think it's a very admirable thing that you're doing to do that, and to know with the passion that you have coming from a European background where they do and have always built green and have for quite some time. And, you know, now you're bringing that over here to the States and you're trying to encourage that philosophy. So love to have insight from this guy right here. When you're building a home and surveying it, what are some of the things that you're going over with your clients about their needs, or do you have specific plans that for them to look at? Or
it really depends on the client itself. Building people come to us from various different angles. You have people that really want to build their home as efficient and as healthy as possible, and they want to go all out and do as much as they can.
Right.
Then you have people that just want to build a really healthy house because they might have allergies, or they might have children that are dealing with some sort of health problems. And let's not forget your typical house that is not built to any kind of green standards. And when I'm talking green standards, I mean either some self-adhered standards or some green building programs. There are a lot of good green building programs out there. Green Build Texas from the local, the Greater Dallas Home Builders Association is one of them. I'm actually on the board of Green Build Texas. The U.S. Green Building Council's Lead for Homes program is a really good program. And what these programs do is they establish guidelines on what to do. But going back to your question, so if someone comes at it from an aspect of I want a super healthy house, we try to investigate why, and if they have any health problems, and then try to do as much as possible there.
I think it's just a question that I ask. There's so many people that I run across when they think of a green home, they think of this crazy modern looking. It's like, well, if I'm going to spend all this money on green, it's going to look completely different than that house over there. But the truth is, a greenhouse can look like that house over there, just like any other normal house, just through the tightness and the way that it was built and the mechanical systems that are put in place. I always talk about on the show how important it is to have all these little pieces of the puzzle that make up the whole building envelope and the building science of the house. And here lately what happens is you have a lot of builders out there who are struggling to make these new homes and get these contracts because, you know, we're not building homes at the rate we once were. So now we're paying more attention on how well they're built and the quality that they're built. And so the builders' challenges that are out there, you know, you're throwing your house up against another builder's house to find out how efficient it is. And that's kind of your ranking and your stats in a builder's world. And so when you have somebody like our company come in and do that HERS rating, and you throw down how tight the house is and how, you know, how well it was put together, then you can kind of go to your cohorts and say, hey, look what I've done over here. And so then it kind of becomes, you're picking up the torch and running with it. And
right. And again, you know, I think you mentioned a really good point when you were talking about proper inspections and energy ratings. Green building is, you know, it starts out with sound design and proper planning. You know, you also mentioned the fact that, you know, there's a lot of, I call them the green building myths. I actually wrote a blog article on our website several months ago about that specific fact, because there's three questions we always get from all our clients, or from a lot of our clients. They always go, oh, well, you know, we would like to build a green home, but we can't afford it. It's just too expensive. And that's just a myth that's put out there because what people see on TV, on all the TV shows and what they read in magazines, you always see the extremes. You always see the super modern homes, or you see the super funky buildings that are built with straw bales or something like that. And you know, they have their place too, but that's not the regular building.
Yep.
A green building it can be of any architectural style. It doesn't really have to cost more.
Yep.
Because again, building green is about planning it right and building it right. And by just doing that, you can build a better house, a tighter house, a more efficient house.
And I know just from just one example of that, and I always talk about the HVAC guys, and that's mainly what you hear about when you talk about going green. It's either solar panels or windows or a new air conditioner. Well, those are the high-ticket items. Those are the most expensive things that you can do to a home, and Americans generally want to have the magic bullet that I want the one thing that's going to have the most impact and the highest thing done, when the truth is it takes a lot of pieces of the mechanical puzzle within the home to make it efficient. And some of these new homes, they're using a third of the energy of what a home did 10 years ago, but just because they are putting smaller HVAC units in them because they're tighter homes and they don't leak as much. So you don't have all of that air just leaking right out through the house, so your HVAC doesn't have to work as hard. But there's also new technologies in spray foam and making them really, really, really super insulated. And then I think there's people out there that also think about, you know, we've got our composting guys coming up. So there's people that think about gardening and composting and the solar, and it's so many different pieces to the puzzle that it's just one thing. You can't have that magic bullet. And I think that's also a big myth in green building, is that people want that one thing and they want to snap their finger and have it. And it's like, well, you have to do all of these things. It's kind of, you know, if you have you go out and you buy new tires and you don't put air in the tires, the car's not going to go very far. And that's just one little tiny detail in the tire, in the wheel, that makes up the whole car that, you know, is really going to help you travel. Well, it's the same thing in a house.
Yeah, and
so,
you mentioned a very important fact there, that proper building a house properly or remodeling a house properly, it's not just about doing one single thing. You really have to look at the house as a whole system. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong initially. They pick out all these individual components, and yes, you can, you know, probably lower your electricity bill some by installing a more energy efficient HVAC system. Absolutely, there's no doubt about that. But are there other things that you can do before that will make your house a little bit more efficient?
That's what I preach all the time. You know, it's you can say, it cracks me up when you see the person that says, well, radiant barrier will save you 30%, and lighting in your house is going to save you 30%, and the HVAC is going to save you 30%. Pretty soon you're like, well, what am I just paying nothing to live in my house? It's like, no, there's